Welcome to my podcast, everyone. This is my very first podcast, so this will just be an introduction to my podcast. I've always wanted to do a podcast, so this is not going to be very long this time because this is just introducing me, telling what this podcast will be about. This podcast will be linked to my YouTube channel. So the podcast will be called Something to Say, and it will be linked to my YouTube channel also by the name of Something to Say, with the at of Something to Say too. Okay. So this is my first foray into this new situation. I know everyone and their mama is doing a podcast, okay? But I guess I'll be joining everybody and their mama because I'm doing it too. This is something new for me, something I'll be starting this year. And then if this podcast does well on the YouTube platform, then I'll be looking to put it on other platform, like other actual, because I guess YouTube is not a host of podcasts, but you can have your podcast there. So I'll actually be putting it on other hosting platform if I see that people are actually like enjoying what I have to say on YouTube. Then of course, if I'm seeing that engagement there, I'll know, hey, people are actually interested in listening to what I have to say. So then that's when will go in and try to add my podcast to other podcast sites like Spotify and all that. Okay. So let's see. So I've always wanted to do a podcast. Okay. I've been interested in radio. I was really interested in radio. I've always wanted to do radio, like literally. I've applied to be like an assistant just to get into the industry. I've applied. No one responds back to me. Okay. No one called me back. The application, I guess, get lost in was lost along with everything else. So I was hoping they would call me because I'm willing to do the little grunt work to get to where I need to be, just to be like the weather girl on the radio. Okay. I was willing to do it all, but no one ever contacted me. So I think that this is a good way to kind of like achieve my dream. I mean, hopefully people enjoy listening to me, because I've never been like super interested in like TV. Yes, TV it would be cool too, but I've always been interested in the radio because I always want people to hear what I have to say. I always want to. I feel like I have more to say, and it could be interesting to some. So I've always wanted people to kind of hear it. So I've always been like, okay, radio is it. And I'm telling you, I've tried to get into radio, and sometimes something is not for you, or just the moment isn't right for the situation. So maybe back then the moment wasn't right for me to get into radio. Hey, I'm still interested in getting into radio. Okay. That would be really, really cool. So if I'm able to take off on this and I'm able to, be a weather girl somewhere I'm in the DFW area. So if I'm able to do that and be the traffic lady or something on one of these radio stations, that would be cool, because I think people are still interested in radio. I have Sirius and I listen to my radio like all the time. If I'm out driving, I'm turning on the radio. And then when I used to have a job where I woke up in the morning, I would definitely listen to morning radio, and I enjoy listening to morning talk radio. I enjoy listening to music too, so I definitely enjoy the mix where they would talk, and of course then they would play some music, and you jam to that, and then they would come back and bring the news, the weather, and whatever. So I definitely enjoy talk radio. And again, like I said, this is something that I've always wanted to do. So this is like just this is going to be like achieving a little dream of mine. Even that at the end of this, if, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I may still be doing this and I don't have like a big following, but I have like a small following of people that are listening to me and being interested in what I have to say, then I think then that would be definitely cool as well. And of course, I have a little bit of notes here where it's going to help me, because I know I need, I'll go on and on talking about random stuff. So I have kind of like a little note here that's to help me definitely speak what I say, what I have to say without rambling all it. I tend to repeat myself. So, so it's not to repeat myself. I'm trying to keep myself on track. Okay. So, in terms of going into this, okay, so everyone is doing podcasts or YouTube or something like that, and I just literally started my YouTube channel, and it's been so much fun. Like, content creation is actually really, really fun if you enjoy what you're doing, okay? I enjoy creating the content. It takes forever to get it right. I've done like a video and I literally script it out, and I literally went through the script like over and over again, because then I would say something or I'd be really goofy and I'm like, that doesn't sound right, and I don't want people to think I'm crazy, or I don't want that to sound too judgy, or whatever the case may be. And I know on podcasts sometimes things may come out a certain way, because I'm gonna upload this podcast just the way it is, I'm not gonna change too much, so that way you get the real me, you get the authentic me. Of course, if this is able to edit certain things out, then that'd be great. But I don't know. I'm using a free tool right now to help me, since I'm just starting out. So hopefully you'll see me get better as I progress in the podcast world. But for now, and I'm going to practice also not saying a lot, because I notice I'm doing that a lot, and I don't want to do that while I'm doing this podcast. So that way, people that are interested in hearing what I have to say aren't like bombarded with a whole bunch of ums. So, back to what I was saying. See, I ramble. Back to what I was saying about starting this podcast. So, again, like I said, I'm starting this podcast in tandem with my YouTube channel. So they're kind of linked together. So it'll be similar to what's on my YouTube channel, except my YouTube channel will be like shorter, like 5-minute videos to even shorter shorts, on YouTube. So I figured the YouTube videos that I'm making won't be like super, super long, because for YouTube, I'm going to concentrate on just doing videos on like specific topics. So it'll be like one topic, and I'm focusing on that one specific topic for that video. It won't be like multiple topic, versus the podcast will be multiple topics that's being covered all at once. Or if I cover one topic for too long, then it'll just be that topic for the day and keep it moving. But the podcast will basically focus on multiple topics, but the YouTube channel is going to be focused on just I'm focusing on just specific things. Like the shorts are focusing on specific things. So, and mostly what I'm focusing on with both is current events. So I'm interested in current events. I love reading articles. Okay. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. And one thing I love to read are articles, because they're short and quick. They get to the point and they let me know what's going on. Okay. So I may not be like the best writer out there, but I love to read. And I can appreciate a good writer. Okay. So I'm always reading articles. I'm always like, every morning I get up. I used to read the newspaper back in the day. Well, I used to get up and the first thing I do is go get my newspaper, get me a cup of coffee, get me some tea, and I would sit there and read the newspaper. But now things have changed. Now I actually have, I actually have the articles on my phone, and I can go ahead and I can read those articles, and I can just go to whatever I want. I do miss the newspaper still, and I do still read magazines and stuff like that, but I do read a lot on my phone. So I thought that it would be a great idea to focus on maybe reading current events from articles that are written online specifically, not focus too much, because I'll be creating video content. So clearly I want more of like written communication and publications. So I won't be reviewing these publications, so to speak. Like I said, it'll be like, if there's a review, there may be a review. I don't know. I may review something, but it won't be focused on reviews. It'll be focused on reading the article, understanding the article. If I understand the article a little bit better than most, I might try to explain the article to you so that you understand it. I'm definitely going to be doing my research, because I do research. Like, I'll read something and I'm like, I don't understand what that means. And I'm going to go and I'm going to Google it. I'm going to try to find out. I'm just that person. So if I'm able to understand it, then that's fine. If you're able to understand it better, that's another reason why I think YouTube is a great platform to start a podcast, because then I can get comments. You guys can leave comments and you can tell me, like, you're talking crazy, or that didn't make any sense, or I don't agree with you, or I agree with you, or whatever, because it's going to be my commentary, right? I'm not a journalist, so don't expect like, this journalistic whatever. I'm going to be reading other people's work, basically, not word for word, because I'm not trying to get copywritten or nothing like that, but I'm going to be, telling you where I'm getting my information and all that stuff, and then giving my opinion on those things, so that way, and I want to hear your opinions too, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's something to say, and something to say too, add something to say too, because I want to hear what y'all think, because I love the comment section. I'm always trying to find a good comment section, and I love hearing how other people think and feel about a topic, because sometimes I'm reading the comment section and I'm like, oh, I thought I understand that topic, but what you just said makes sense. Timothy 505 from North Carolina, like, what you just said make complete sense. So I actually understand this article a little better now because you posted this on the comments, and I'm a comment poster too, so I will go back and forth with, not back and forth like arguing or nothing like that, but I will go, back to back with you, or toe to toe with you, and, giving information and responding, because I enjoy that. I enjoy, a little banter, like, even if it's electronically, so that's something that, that's something that's going to be the main part of my YouTube channel and my YouTube podcast. For now, like I said, I'm not going to put my podcast anywhere else yet until I, see some type of traction on YouTube. So again, the focus will be on current events mostly, and articles mostly. I may mention certain things that I see, on social media or something like that, because you just cannot get away from that. But of course, my main focus will be on talking about, current events of today that I literally read, and the articles, and I'll be, telling you where I got it from. So that way, if y'all are interested, if y'all love to read like me, and y'all are interested in finding out, hey, what did this article say? And, I'm telling you, there are some amazing writers out there, and they don't get their due because of this whole new social media thing. That journalistic integrity, all that stuff has just been muddled, and all that stuff, because these writers aren't getting their dues. So, but I will give them their props here. I'll let you know who wrote it, where, when, whatever, and I will definitely give them their props here. So that's mostly it for what I'll be doing with this channel. And again, I'll be looking to see if how successful this channel is, because if it's not this channel and the podcast also, if they're not successful, then I may have to change things around. So that's why I like this platform, because then I can see what the engagement is like. I can see what I'm doing wrong, or what I may not be doing, right, or what I'm doing right, or how people engage with me depending on what I say and the topics that I choose. And so I'll be looking at that. And hopefully this can get into something that's, successful. So going back to why I'm starting this podcast, because I don't think I explained that very well to begin with. If you're interested in hearing, but you're here now, so I guess you're going to hear why I'm doing this podcast. So I have a part-time job. And I do have a business, but of course, being a business owner is kind of hard, and I'll probably address that in a podcast. Not sure when. It may be more recent. Maybe the next podcast I do, it may be further down the line. It just depends on how relevant it may be for that day. And so I have a part-time job, and I also have my business. But for like the past year, my business has not been doing so great, and it's the type of business where it's basically word of mouth and referrals, but it's very competitive because what I do, it's a part of the legal system, and lawyers do the same thing. So it's just so competitive that that I'm not able to get the business that I want to pay my bills. And paying my bills is very important, okay? I need to be able to pay my bills, especially living in the DFW area. So because of that, I was like looking for different things to do, right? Of course, my part-time job it definitely helps me out as well, and I appreciate my part-time job and I appreciate my business, but I feel like I need them to do better. So I'm always looking for new things to do, always looking for new things to try. So this is something that's, also I'm thinking it's something new to try, and hopefully I can do it as a business, and everybody and their mama, again, like I said, is trying to do this as a business. But hopefully, people are interested in hearing what I have to say and listening to me. That way it can become a business, especially placing it on YouTube. I think on YouTube, there's options for you where you can get monetized. I'm not the greatest with I haven't had a TikTok account. I'm not the greatest with that type of stuff, like with the TikTok. I have Instagram, but I don't really use it as much. So I feel like Instagram is one of those things where if you have a business already that's kind of like doing successful, or even if it's not doing successful, if you have a business already, you can place information on there. And I guess it's kind of, Instagram can be very informational. I know people sell stuff on Instagram, but I feel like those are the people that are already successful in their business. So it just helps them. But I don't think Instagram is like a business now, so to speak, okay, with TikTok and all this other stuff going on. So I'm not, excuse me. So I'm not big in Instagram either, but of course I'm on there, and I mostly use it to look at people art and people posts and stuff like that, and I find Instagram interesting. Oops, nope, close that out. Okay, sorry. I find Instagram interesting to post stuff, but I probably, if my podcast become a little bit more successful, maybe I'll start an Instagram for it, and my YouTube and all that stuff, maybe I'll connect it to an Instagram. But for now, that's not something that I'm focused on. Okay, so back to this is why I need my little handy dandy notebook keeping track of things, because clearly I get distracted and want to talk about different things. Okay, so back to what I was saying about jobs and stuff like that. So because of, me not making enough, I find that I have to find other things to do. And it's crazy because, people nowadays, we think, oh man, these people have so many different jobs. People don't just have one thing. And honestly, I wouldn't mind just having one or two jobs. I'm not trying to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jobs. Like, I'm not trying to do that at all. I know some people maybe, but I'm not. It's just not my goal in life. It's just not my, my back. I'm old. It's just not my goal in life. It's just not my main thing, my main focus on what I'm trying to do. So, of course, now it's what I'm doing now, because like I said, I have to make money, and the employment market is kind of hard. It's like, okay, now I've started to look for all these different jobs that would fit my needs, that would fit my time frame and all this stuff. And you apply for all these jobs, but nothing comes back. It's just like, and that's another thing. That's another topic that, I'll get into, because I'm definitely on the job boards. I'm on the LinkedIn. I'm on the Career Builder. I'm on the Glassdoors. I'm on all the things, okay? And I'm always trying to find a good opportunity, because not every job is for you. And it's not like, praise God, it's not like I'm struggling to where I'm like, oh, I just gotta get this job for $9.95 per hour. And thankfully I can actually be a little bit selective, and try to say, okay, I'm just going to wait for the right opportunity to come along where I know I'll be able to do what I need to do and work and enjoy my job. Because if not, we all know what happens. We get these jobs and we quit and left and right, and so on and so forth. So I am not really trying to do all of that. I'm just trying to find me something that will stick, something that I will enjoy. So I was talking to my best friend actually about it. I was like, I actually just made a joke like, you know what? I should just do like everybody else and start a chat and start like a YouTube about trying to find jobs, because that's been my full-time job now, trying to find another job in tandem with my business and my part-time job. It's like it's a whole other, like literally a whole other job, trying to find another job to supplement, not even supplement my income, to just create an income. Because I like living, I like being comfortable. I don't want to struggle. I don't like living paycheck to paycheck. No one wants to struggle, and especially me. And this is the United States of America, okay? This is the place to be when it comes to jobs and employment opportunities. There's some stuff going on now, and we'll talk about that as well further down the line. But at the end of the day, this is still, a place where you can still make those dreams an opportunity. You can still take advantage of those opportunities and make those dreams come true. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's the same thing I want to do. So I was joking, back to what I was saying. Get distracted. Back to what I was saying. I still want to take those opportunities that I can. Wait, back to my best friend. We'll circle back around. Okay, I promise you that the next video will be more organized, because I'll have specific topics. This is just me introducing myself, okay? And then this is me. I ramble on and on and on, and I always circle back around. I always circle back around to finish my thought. So I jokingly said to her, basically, with my best friend, I should do that. She was like, you know what, you should. And I thought about it, and you know what, I was like today is a perfect example of a day, right? Because I came home from work on Saturday. Yeah, I came home from work on Saturday, and I think that's when I did like a video. Like, I was tired, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna upload something to YouTube, because I'd work like a 12-hour shift on my part-time. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come home and upload a video, because this is a good opportunity. All it takes is like one video, like on a YouTube or something, to go viral, and all of a sudden you have these opportunities that are afforded to you to do more. So I would love those opportunities to come my way, because then I'll be able to do more, and that's the goal. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna upload to my YouTube and do all that stuff. And that's what I did. And right now I like what I'm saying. I know it could be better, like with engagement and all that stuff, but I literally just started my channel like 3 or 4 days ago. And this is my first podcast within that time. So I think I'm doing good. So all I'm saying is I'm taking every opportunity I can to do some type of content and upload it, just to figure out what people are looking for and what people are interested in, and what people are interested in seeing and hearing and all that. So with that being said, I'm glad I actually did this. After talking to her, I was like, you know what, this is something, again, I've always been interested in doing. Not specifically podcasts, okay? Not specifically podcasts, but radio is always something. And this is the closest I'll get to radio right now, to, and being older, we all have dreams. We all have dreams that we want to come true. We all have dreams, stuff that we've put on the back burner. Stuff that we weren't able to do, we weren't able to get into. And one of mine is radio. I also used to want to become a country singer, but that's a whole different that's a whole different thing. And so, that's not a part of my thing anymore. So I would still probably want to be like a doo-wop girl on a country album or something like that for somebody, but I wouldn't, want to be like the main person. I have a bad memory. I can't remember a lot of things, okay? Of course, that's not what I tell employers. But the truth of the matter is I do have a bad memory when it comes to things. So I don't think I could be like, a very famous singer, because I'd be like literally like, what's that singer back in the day? Like, not back in the day, but a few years back. that forgets the words of the song, and like I'd probably be that person forgetting the words of my song, okay? And I don't want to be that person. But I can remember a few lyrics, okay? So I'll be the background, I'll be the backup singer. So that's something that I've always been kind of interested in doing. So I think this is the closest I'll probably get to doing radio. Knock on wood, like I said, you never know. God may, in the future, somebody may see this and decided that, hey, you'd be a great radio personality, come on and do this, and that would be great. I would love to be on Sirius or something like that, have a show, and hopefully eventually also, because I know this is my very first time doing a podcast, and trying to cut and understand what it is to cut videos. And I know with YouTube, there's so much work that goes into it. Like I spent hours on one little video that was 5 minutes. When I tell you hours, I'm talking about 8+ hours on one video that was 5 minutes, trying to get the right wording down, make sure the right lighting, make sure everything is cut, getting sounds, because the sound was sounding crazy, getting the sounds to, I have to find an app that will remove the sound, because it was like I don't know what's going on in my apartment, but there's like this loud sound. I'm like, how? I didn't even hear that in my apartment, but on the video, that's what I heard. So I had to figure out how to get that sound out of there. Then I had to figure out how to get the pictures that I wanted to get in it just right. Like, this is a lot of work, y'all. So doing this, you hear people talk about it all the time. This is a lot of work. So yes, once you put so much work into it, it would be nice to get paid. I know some people do get lucky and they go viral. Hopefully that happens to me. But if it doesn't, it's still, one of those things. But you still have to keep up. I'm sure those people that went viral, they still have to keep up with people and engaging and all that stuff, and do all that stuff. But this is still, again, one of those things where you just have to put in the hard work, and I feel like something will happen. That's the goal. So hopefully people are interested in, me and the podcast. I'm excited. I'm excited about the future, what the future holds with this. I'm excited about the things that this can do, the places that this podcast may be able to take me, the people that I may be able to reach, the impact that I could have. Because I'm not one of those people that just like to sit in a place, and like I just don't want to sit here and do a podcast. I like to be mobile. So I like the fact that I could take this and go someplace else and be mobile. And I like to be doing things, and I like doing things that can help make a difference. So if somehow I can use this platform to make a difference in some way, that's what I would like. Now, how would I use this platform to make a difference? That I'm not 100% sure yet. I know being a voice to things and being an activist to things, I know that's like one way, but I'm not speaking to that because everyone knows that. I'm thinking of how like something bigger and grander than myself of what I could do, and I'm hoping that that's something that can happen. Like God will create a way where something bigger and grander than myself will happen with this podcast. But for right now, I'm excited on where this is gonna go. I'm excited to be able to reach so many people. I'm excited to be able to do this podcast. So I think I've hit on everything that I need to hit on in terms of why I'm starting this podcast and all of that. I have the name of my podcast ready as well. And I don't think I should change it, but I guess I can just add, my name is Georgia, and I don't want that to be like so linked to, so I don't want it to be something with Georgia, but because I already, the name of it is going to be something to say. I want it to link. But I'm definitely going to, put that it's with Georgia. So just so you know, I'm Georgia. And this is going to be my YouTube podcast. So this is right on the money. I've made it to where this video needs to be. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do all the stuff that needs to be done. But I am so excited about this. Thank y'all for listening to me. Whoever listens to this podcast in its entirety, this very first one, trust me, I'll be more organized next time. This is just an introduction to me, why I'm doing this podcast, what to expect from this podcast in the future. and just how excited I am that whoever is listening plans to, join me on this journey